This past weekend, I attended the Miami Grand Prix. It was a fun time, but quite expensive. F1 continues to try to break into the US market, but the exorbitant prices and lack of parity amongst the teams have slowed the progress they were making. America's favorite motorsports series, NASCAR, has had a major fall off in the past decade and a half, but continues to be much more suited to the economic realities of most Americans. In this video, I'm going to attempt to see how many NASCAR races in a row I could theoretically attend before hitting the same price it took me to attend the Miami Grand Prix. In the interest of fairness, I won't be considering travel or accommodation costs for the NASCAR races, as I didn't spend any money traveling to the Miami GP, as I am within driving distance of Hard Rock Stadium. At the end, I will reveal how much my ticket to the F1 race actually was, so make sure you stick around to the end to see the results. This weekend is the first Darlington race of the year. It's a special event because it's a throwback weekend for the teams. The cheapest price I found was $50 towards the bottom of the grandstands in Turn 4. Super cheap, especially if you live close in the Carolina region. If I lived in South Carolina, I would buy these easily. Next up is the All-Star race, which serves as a long-anticipated return of the North Wilkesboro Speedway. The track sold out quickly, and all tickets I could find were verified resellers. As it's one of the most anticipated NASCAR races in a long time, the cheapest tickets I could find were towards the bottom of the stands on turns 1 and 2 for $220. Considerably more expensive, but something that is workable if you want to be there in person when the Cup Series returns to Wilkes County, North Carolina. We're now sitting on 2 Cup races I could have attended for $270, nowhere close to the Miami GP price. After the All-Star race comes another crown jewel event, the Coca-Cola 600, held on Memorial Day weekend. The lowest price I could find was $91, and you'd be sitting up top underneath the condos down in Turn 1. I think that's honestly a pretty decent seat, and not a bad price for a big event like the 600. Now our total is up to $361. Moving on up next is the Cup Series' second ever trip to Gateway, just across the river from downtown St. Louis. The cheapest ticket I found was $77, although the same seat could be bought for a kid at $20. Because I'm not a kid, we'll count the $77 as the full price for the seat. That purchase brings us up to a total of $438 for 4 races. After that is the first road course race on the list at Sonoma. Now, trekking across the country to California would definitely cost a lot of money, but let's say you lived in Napa Valley and could attend the Cup race without needing a hotel or transportation. The cheapest ticket for a hillside seat would be $59, which would be the second cheapest ticket so far on this list. Now we're sitting at $497 spent for 5 races, still plenty of cash to work with here. Moving on, we have the third ever running of the Ally 400 in Nashville. Like Gateway, Nashville offers a cheaper price if a kid uses the seat. In this case, bringing your kid to this race would run you only $11, but if you're the adult in this situation, you'd be paying $71. Still not too bad. Another one of the Cup Series' newer events that is also one of its most affordable. After 6 races, the total is up to $568. Following up after Nashville comes the inaugural NASCAR race on the streets of downtown Chicago. This race is effectively NASCAR's response to F1 adding races in Miami and Las Vegas. So let's see how the prices fare for the Cup Series inaugural street course race. When doing my research, I could see that the prices definitely come close to the Miami GPs. The cheapest general admission I could find was $269, which is a lot. I personally do not expect this race to last very long on the schedule, given the nature of Chicago politics, so if you live in that area of the country and want to check out the novelty of a NASCAR street course race, I suggest locking down those tickets at $269 before the event either dies quickly or excels and the prices become outrageous. Now, our total is at $766 for 7 races. Next up is the return trip to Atlanta Motor Speedway, this time for a night race to get out of the middle of the summer heat in the middle of Georgia. The track's lowest ticket for the Cup race is $89. Again, not too shabby. For a single day, anything under $100 I would consider pretty good, but I can't speak for everyone. Now with Atlanta being a pack race, you're sure to see something wild happen at some point. Our total stands at $855 for 8 races, still a bit away from the Miami GP total. After Atlanta comes the solitary trip to Loudon, New Hampshire on the season. This race will cost only $59, making it tied for the second cheapest on the list so far. Again, if you live in the New England area, I think attending this race would be doable for a lot of people. Our number is now up to $914 for 9 races. Following Loudon is another race in the Northeast United States with a trip to Pocono on deck. With a low price of only $45, this race overtakes Darlington as the cheapest on the list so far. Sure, it may be down closer to the track, so the views aren't as good, but that really applies to the majority of races on this list. If you've ever sat down low at a NASCAR race, you know how much you can feel the sensation as the cars zoom past you. It's an experience unto itself. Now we sit at $959 for 10 races. Just when I thought we'd have a new low price, along comes the second Richmond race. For the mere price of $25, you can catch the Cup race. This to me is a shocker, as 2 decades ago Richmond was right up there with Bristol for the most coveted tickets on the calendar. Now they've ripped out a majority of the grandstands, practically giving away tickets, and they still can't sell it out. $25 is an incredible price, but it stands as a reminder of how far the series has fallen from its great heights. But if you just want to enjoy some racing and live in the DMV area, you should head to Richmond on July 30th. The total now sits at $984 for 11 races. After Richmond is the lone trip to Michigan on the schedule. The lowest price I found was $39, another great value price. For whatever reason, prices are mostly getting lower as the season goes on. Still, if you're a Michigan race fan, this is a really good price, and if you can swing it, you should try to attend. It took us 12 races, but we finally crossed the 4-digit mark. Our total now sits at $1,023. The Verizon 200 at the Brickyard is the final race on the list. I have officially ran up against the price that I paid for the Miami Grand Prix. Reserve seating for the Cup race on the IMS road course starts as low as $45. Having been to Indianapolis for an Indy 500, I can say it's one of the greatest sporting venues you can go to. While the Cup race on the infield road course won't be anywhere close to the same spectacle as the greatest spectacle in racing, if you are a race fan in the United States, you should always consider attending a race of some kind at IMS. This brings us to a final total of $1,068 for 13 Cup races in a row. For comparison, I paid $1,080 for a 3-day grandstand ticket to the Formula 1 Miami Grand Prix. For $12 less, I could have theoretically attended 1/3 of the points-paying Cup races on the season, plus the non-points All-Star race being held at North Wilkesboro, in what truly is a historic moment for the sport of stock car racing. Now, with having to travel and get hotel rooms, the NASCAR number would balloon astronomically, but from just a getting through the gate standpoint, the reality is clear. However, it dawned on me that several NASCAR tracks are offering tickets to Cup races for less than $50 and they still can't sell it out. Is interest in NASCAR that low, or is the economic realities of life in present-day America that bad? I think I know the answer to that, but the question will remain rhetorical. It's eye-opening, and it should be eye-opening for Formula 1 as well. You can only milk Americans of their money for so long before they realize they're getting raked over the coals to attend a sporting event that is hardly competitive. It's awesome that they put a Formula 1 race effectively in my backyard, but when seeing how much better the bang for the buck is at F1 races back in Europe, you do feel cheated out of your money. But at the end of the day, the decision was mine and mine alone. I think instead of the Miami Grand Prix, next year I will be booking a trip to the Blue Ridge Mountains and seeing the NASCAR Cup Series at North Wilkesboro instead. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something from this video, or that it opened your eyes. If you liked it, make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications icon. Have a great day.